Have you ever thought about the reason why Britain is great? Why it is Great Britain? Well, it is to make it different from just Britain in earlier times. We all know that in the ancient times there was a huge Roman Empire and it had one province called Britannia. And it was situated, as you can imagine, where Britain is today. And at the time of the Great Migration of Nations, many years later, many people moved from Britannia to French territory. And they took the name with them too. So Britannia, in French Bretagne, is the important and famous French part of the country. And this is the place where I am right now. The largest city in the region is Rennes, you probably know, but what you probably know more is Brest, and this is the city where I am right now. Brest, its harbor and the castle fortifications is an important place in French history. The first settlement of the place, of the harbor, was at the turn of the 3rd and 4th centuries by Roman soldiers. They built a small guarding fortification here to protect the entrance to the local harbor. The fortification was left by the Romans in the 5th century after the collapse of the empire, and it came under the French control. In the 14th century, when it was no longer just a fortification but it was a castle, it belonged to the English for a while, but then the French took it back. Later, in the 18th century, Brest, together with Toulon, which is a city in the south, became two most important naval bases in France, and they still are until today. During the First World War, the harbor was an important base in the fight against the Germans. And during the Second World War, Brest was taken by the Germans, who built a submarine base here. During the Battle of Normandy, Brest was almost destroyed, and it had to be rebuilt. But the castle survived the war relatively well, although reconstruction was of course necessary. After the end of the war, the harbor was logically back under the administration of the French Navy. Brittany, by the logic of its location, is the land of many lighthouses. One of them, for example, is this one, Portsea. This one is the closest one to Brest, but I couldn't get any closer to him. This one. It's called Petit Minou and it's very beautiful. And it's because of the rock which is built on and because of us, and also because of the stone bridge. beautiful lighthouse is called Saint-Mathieu, as you can read at the top of the lighthouse, and it's 37 meters tall and it's visible from 50 kilometers, so it's pretty distant. Before it was electrified in the 20th century, it originally had an oil lamp. Back then, oil was a common lighthouse practice. Next to the lighthouse, there are remains of the Benedictine monastery of the same name. The Locrist lighthouse is slightly unusual because it is pretty far from the coast, about 60 meters. It is also only 17 meters tall. So I don't want to say it was a waste of time. I'm glad that I saw this lighthouse, but nothing special. Very small, very ordinary. When I compare it with the others. Now I'm on the way, I'm a few kilometers from another lighthouse, and it's gonna be much more better, I promise you. The Kermorvo lighthouse is 20 meters tall and visible from 35 kilometers. It is a smaller piece, but it has something else interesting. It is the most western French lighthouse on land. I underline on the land because there are other lighthouses on the islands in the sea. The lighthouse is recently restored. The works were done in 2022. Last lighthouse of the day, of the report. This lighthouse is called Dresian, and it is very nice piece of architecture, I guess. Do you agree? I would like to show you the light because already it's getting dark and the light is on, but I need to get on the other side. It's not visible from this side, so fingers crossed. I hope I can get to the other side. Unfortunately, this is the only view what I can offer you. I'm not able to get closer, but I think this is also, and this is enough, I guess. Nice one, nice. Lighthouse is 37 meters tall and visible from more than 30 kilometers. That was the tour, that was the lighthouse tour, and now I want to go to some warm place. Yes. See you soon.